Yo, yo, yo.
Hi.
Dang, I didn't realize how big this was. I feel like I'm all up in your grill. So basically what I have here today is that, I don't know if you heard or saw that, basically I just want to see what you're about, what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish, and the steps you're taking to make that happen. So you can go off from wherever you want to start, and I'm going to throw my little 2 cents to keep you going, alright?
Okay. So talk on radio. When I was a little girl, me and my dad, he drove a truck and he picked me up from school, and it was like at the end of the day I would hear him listening to sports radio. And this guy, I forget his name right now, but he was like a firecracker, say whatever you want, talk as crazy, and it was sports, but his passion was just so, it was just, I felt everything. And I remember in 7th grade, they trained us on math, and they had the little podcast and garage band thing, and I think, and I wish I had kept this for my record, I think I recorded a podcast at that time as like a 7th grader. And I remember thinking, oh man, this is so cool. I totally want to do this again. And then, you know, you grow old, you know, whatever. Puberty, the whole nine. And I kind of forgot about it. And recently, what was it? 2014, I think. The podcast started kind of hyping up again. It was like more of a deal. People were doing it a lot more often. And I was like, you know, I really want to do this. And I mentioned it to my friends in passing, and they were like, Shawnte, you kind of start things and end things like pretty quickly.
I hate when that happens.
Nobody really wanted to hear me. I really sat down and thought about it one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do this. Let me just try and do this. And I was like, what is going to be kind of my, what's my market looking like? So I want to say, honestly, this for pre-production for my podcast probably took me about a year and a half.
Really?
And part of it because I would kind of get on it and then like bounce off and do something else, or just learning all these different things and how do I market and what do I want it to be called, and all of these just different pieces that need to come together in order to kind of make it what you want it to be. It took me, 18 months. I mean,
the way you're talking, not a lot of people are like, all right, I gotta figure out my demographic. I gotta figure out my needs. I gotta figure out this and that. A lot of people just go out and just do it, and they wonder why, like, no one's really listening, or they're too vague in their idea, where they're not specific, so they can't grab anyone's attention specifically. And I'm very intrigued that you're saying this. It's not even finding me right now. I'm like, okay, shit, I'm trying to do something right now.
That makes me so happy. I love that. No, it took me a long time to realize it, because, you know, you listen to podcasts, you say, oh, I can do that. You know, it's just talking crap. I can do that. But the amount of work that goes into it is actually astounding. Even to me, like, I have to time my tweets. I have to time my Instagrams. I have to, you know, what time are people online? Like, this is marketing stuff that's so important to making sure that your podcast or your music, whatever you're doing, is seen. I was like, I have to get on top of this. Like, you know, I want the most out of it, so I have to do the most to get the most out of it, you know? Yes, I have a podcast. It's Soft Cities, Instagram and Twitter. Soft Podcast, SOSD Podcast on SoundCloud. We're also on iTunes. And I just get in once a week, round up whatever it is I want to talk about. I have a couple of little segments that I like to give. Just what I decided to do was start, you know, tweeting out and Instagramming out, hey, send us your music, send us your art, send us what you're working on. So that way people feel a little bit more connected to the artists themselves outside of the interview. And then I like it because, you know, you have people come in and you do this shout out, and if you're an artist, you're a rapper, I'm going to play a clip of your song before I come in. Hey, can I have, what's your favorite song?
So you promote them too. Cool.
Then I get your fans.
Everyone's winning.
18 months.
And then it's interesting that you said something like this, because that is sort of kind of a similar kind of vibe I'm going with, or still a style I'm going with, the same thing as this. But it's just interesting to me because I'm so obsessed with like success and like going after your dreams and stuff like that. I'm so obsessed with it that not only for that, but I just like to hear other people's mindset. And when other people's mindsets, especially like at our age, because not a lot of people at our age have this mindset. You know, it usually goes later on, and then people buckle down and make it happen later on, and then their big moment happens later on in life. But I see like people my age going after what they want to go after, and they're so passionate about it. You don't understand. That makes me so. That's
why I'm doing sauce. So we're on the same wavelength.
That's cool though. So, where do you see yourself 5-10 years from now?
So 5 years from now, I'll start with 10. 10 years from now, I see myself, I have a Sirius radio show. Okay. I want to be on Sirius radio. You're going to have to pay to hear me talk. That is the goal.
That's the goal.
I will pay to speak.
Yeah.
5 years from now, I really just want to grow Sauce. I want Sauce to outgrow me, as far as like, this is not just San Diego. This is maybe California. This is, I'm going to different cities and states, and bringing out artists, maybe doing some showcases if it's possible, and producing some of these showcases, especially in San Diego, because San Diego is my home and it's where I started. So I never want to be the person who's like, that's just
out of there. Later.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So I definitely want to keep it as San Diego based, but I also want to be sure that I'm reaching those markets. So that's what these next 5 years are going to be, making sure I touch the market, going to New York, going to some of the podcasts. I think they have one in San Fran, and I know they have one in New York, but some of the just podcast conferences they have, and just making those connections so I can go to Texas and rap with another podcaster, go to New York and rap with another podcaster. You know what I mean? You know?
Big plan.
There was a point in my planning where I was like, maybe I can't do this, and maybe this isn't for me, and what if it doesn't, and all these things. And then I talked to a few of my creative friends who like inspire me and who have done it for years, had their own creative endeavors that they've just pursued for so long. And they said, you know what, Shawnte, you just gotta push it down. Like,
gotta make it happen.
Who cares? At least, and then I keep thinking, if I don't try it, am I gonna wait? In 7th grade, the first time I thought about podcasting. 7th grade, how old am I? Like 13? Not even 12? I'm 11 years. Am I gonna wait another 11 years when I'm 34 to start podcasting? No. I'm never gonna get any groupies if I wait until I'm 34.
Yeah, I'm pretty on that. I like the way you think.